Welcome back to yet another episode of the Apple Repair. I am always your host, Dustin Smith. And this week we are going to talk about one of the many faces of game companies. One of the biggest game companies there is, and you may have heard them, you might have not. If you are 90% of the time you're going to hear them, especially with one of their biggest games releases a while back, Overwatch, Blizzard Entertainment Inc. Well, Blizzard is a very substantially large company. They have created many games from 1994 till now. I'm not positive on that. I'm pretty sure, though. Don't check it out, though. Just follow me. And, well, Blizzard is one of the many faces of games. You'll see them everywhere. If you'll look at some of their games, there's tons of references throughout many geekish, nerdish websites, many YouTubers. I know many of my friends who play. I play many Blizzard games. I play WoW, World of Warcraft, if you didn't know what that was. They began with Warcraft in 1994, I believe. They also have StarCraft, World of Warcraft. They had Diablo, Hearthstone, and now Overwatch. Overwatch is one of their newest games, and I believe Warcraft is one of their oldest games. Warcraft, I remember playing when I was like 8 years old, 7 or 8, had no idea what I was doing at all. I was literally just sitting there and playing Warcraft. I didn't know what it was, just played it. Also played StarCraft and kind of like that. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft in my younger days, but I played a lot now. I mean, it's one of my favorite games to play. I also have been playing Overwatch. I like to play Hearthstone, but I'm very bad at it. Like, I am one of the most terrible people at Hearthstone. You could literally get on, learn how to do it, and probably beat me. That's how bad I am. I haven't played Diablo, though. Diablo is one game, I know of it, I know a lot about it, I just never played it. I might play it, though. I think I might play it in the future sometime. But, Blizzard, they started out as a small company like any other game producers. They've always started out small and grew up big. And that's something that we're going to talk about the way that how game companies like Blizzard have changed. Some companies, they start out small, they get big. Some companies actually start out big, then get small. And then some companies just kind of stay there. People know who they are, but they're a steady game. Like, they're not the best games that come out, but they're still there. Let's see, Bethesda. Bethesda's probably started out small. Blizzard started out small. A bunch of companies started out small, and yet they're these huge, towering companies that we have today, and nobody really thinks about how they get their start. How did they have this? How did they do this? It's because all they had to do was they had to create that first game. When that first game sells a lot, they make a second game. When that second game sells a lot, they make a third game. And when that third game sells a lot, they use the money from all three of those games to start building their empire. So they've had a small little shack, plus the three, then they make 3 more games, keep it there, add 3 more games, take those 3, build it up. At one point, you're going to have a towering empire of a game creation network. And that's sort of what Blizzard does. Blizzard started out making money, and now they're a huge company. They have their own convention. BlizzCon, if you didn't know, by the way. And these huge companies, they start small, and then they get big. Blizzard is, as I said, Blizzard is one of them that I know. And I remember when I was little, when I first played it, the graphics were just so terrible on it that you could barely tell what it was, but at that time you thought the graphics were amazing. I know I did. And now look at freaking Overwatch. Look at the stuff you can do on it. They have advanced so much. It's almost crazy thinking that in almost 10 years that those games have changed a lot. 10 years. Think about how much someone can change in 10 years. Now think about how the game world has changed in 10 years. The game world has changed quite a lot. I mean, back then I guess they were probably almost sort of the same-ish. I mean, they're ran by the same people, but the way they did stuff was still kind of the same. They just found a better way to do it. Like it wasn't the same process, but it was the same amount of effort. And they just found they just found ways they could do this to make it look better, to make it look better, to make it look better. And games like that are what have really changed the world, actually. And I see that coming up ahead with virtual reality. I believe Blizzard, this is just a hunch, but Blizzard, I feel like they are actually going to try to do something with virtual reality pretty soon. Once it starts getting really big, I believe that they're going to start trying to make some good games for it. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want to buy a virtual reality system yet because there's not a lot of games right now." But you know what? There's gonna be, and it's like with the PS4 and the Xbox One, there wasn't a lot of games. The Sony and Microsoft had to come up with games so they could have games for it. And then people, once they actually started hearing about that, they started turning out more of a profit. And that's something that a lot of people do, and that's sort of how creating systems and games and stuff like that work. And Blizzard's always, I believe they were always on a PC. They started out on their game started out on a PC. Their games are still on a PC. They really haven't changed a lot, but they have changed where you can play the games. You can play Overwatch on the PS4 and Xbox One, Diablo 3 on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And the thing is, originality is another thing that kind of helps a company grow, because with originality they're going to be like, okay, we did this back then and we're still doing this. That's a solid company because they have that strength that binds them. Because I believe it is a quote from, don't know, but it says a blind man who's bounded is about to get free. And I don't really know what that's about. I kind of just sounded cool to me, I guess, about bounded and bindings. But the thing is, their ties that bind them to the past is still what makes them a great game. Because believe it or not, they actually may have thought about Overwatch back then. They just didn't know how to do it. Then they were probably like, oh, let's look over some past game ideas, and there's Overwatch. They're like, holy crap, this is a good game. This isn't, I'm just kind of saying as if, what if type situation. This isn't for real. I don't think it is. But, I mean, these people could have just pulled it out of the thing. And back then, some of those bindings that were on them then were able to create something now. And they still have those bindings, except their bindings are a little bit looser. And well, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. I don't want to make it too long. Blizzard's a great company, I guess. What's the point of it? We have a Rage On account now, and we still have our Patreon. Rage On is a small little app that you can get where we sell t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. I think they're onesies, blankets, like big blankets. We can get pillows, bandanas, and shower curtains. Yeah. And all your favorite little designs. I've posted some about tech. I've posted some with logos. I've posted the Apple or Pear logo. As you may have seen, we've changed our logo because I finally figured out a good way to do it. And we've also changed the music. Changed the music quite a bit, actually. I'm sorry for that, but it's fine now. I hope you like it. Go like, subscribe, leave us some money. We'll leave you some money. Probably not. Just go give us some money. As I said, it's gonna help us get a new camera, get a microphone. As you can tell, the audio and the visual isn't that great. And well, I hope you know you are the greatest audience. You have stuck through. I know I only have 5 subscribers right now, and I'm trying to get more. And I bet probably only one person actually watches this, but I thank you for that. I thank you for giving me the start that I have today. See you next time on the Apple or Pear.